Hello and welcome to Tale on the Air. I'm Sean, the Fox in the Fedora, and we're here for another fun-filled, thrill-filled game of Champions RPG. For those of you who don't know, Champions is kind of like Dungeons & Dragons, only with superheroes, similar to the characters you'd find in Marvel or DC Comics. Now, instead of going by the traditional and very complicated RPG rules, yeah, I know there'll be those of you out there who'll be like, hey, they're not that complicated or whatnot, but just for our audience sakes and our contestants' sake and especially my sake, I've extremely simplified the rules, which I'll get into in a bit. But hey, RPGs are what you make of them. Now then, on to the game. As it was explained in the new intro of the series, I will be known as Director Fox, and I will send various contestants, aka other heroes, on missions to save the world, or something along those lines. The rules for this RPG have been simplified to dice rolls and improv. Now there is a set ending that the contestants are trying to get to, and I will help steer them to that ending, but the rest of the game is a combination of their imagination and mine. As the game master, I can accept or reject a path they want to take or an idea they have, but one way or another, the contestants/heroes have to abide by the dice. For the contestants, if they roll an odd number, they fail. An even number, they succeed. Our contestants each have 3 lives and 4 hit points per life. The hit points cannot be taken away if they, example, miss a bus they had to get on or something. The hit points can be taken away if the bus is dropped on top of them. Lose the 4 hit points, you lose a life. Lose all 3 lives, and you're out of the game. If both contestants lose, the villain wins. Now, without further ado, since all our contestants created their own superheroes for this season, let's hear from the 2 we have on today. Contestant number 1, can you please tell us who you are, the name and origin of your hero, their powers and weaknesses?
Hello everybody, this is the Tiger Wolf 55, coming at you playing the Hybrid, aka Roy Gildman. Hero's characteristics. Volunteering for some experimental treatments to help pay for family bills, he was injected with an experimental steroid derived from wolf DNA and RNA sequencing, designed to increase a person's olfactory abilities, hearing, and eyesight. It worked, increasing his senses, and further experiments were performed attempting to help perfect a person's sense of balance utilizing feline DNA afterwards. This was trickier, but eventually also successful. However, he never saw more than the first payment, as the lab was shut down to investigations showing that they had not gone through proper procedures for animal testing. Time went by, and after a few years, the relatively small enhancements made by the splicing began to increase in their intensity, eventually physically manifesting themselves. In an attempt to stop what was happening, he sought professional help. It was discovered that the animal DNA resequencing had been aggressive and was rewriting his human DNA. A new RNA resequencer was injected, designed to boost and strengthen his human genetic structure. The result balanced his body out and had other unforeseen side effects. He no longer appeared human, but would no longer further mutate. His body had developed a fur pelt with the markings of a wolf and tiger, and parts of his body had also restructured to accommodate the aesthetics of these animals, including a muzzle, extended pointing ears, retractable claws, and various powers and abilities, of which he had the sense of smell and hearing of a wolf, and the increased night vision and athleticism of a tiger. His mind could also process images faster due to the nature of his changed physiology. The human booster, combined with his already enhanced abilities, also granted increased powers of strength, dexterity, and durability, augmented by his fur, which acted like a limited soft armor. He could now lift 20 tons, run at speeds of 90 miles per hour, and his saliva could also now act as an antibacterial salve in emergencies. He also has greater spatial awareness thanks to the whiskers on his face and certain parts of his body. As far as weaknesses go, a tougher physiology does not translate to invulnerability. A well-placed gunshot or stab wound can still kill him like anyone else.
Contestant number 2, introduce yourself, your hero, their origin, powers, and weaknesses.
Well, I'm Avaraya, and my character's name is Glacia. She is a dark character and only speaks when spoken to. She doesn't like being with people very much and avoids social attention. Before fighting villains, she used to be one herself, an assassin. Over time, she realizes what she was doing was wrong after killing a band of children. Her childhood was filled with pain as she was taught to be strong, tough, and independent, leading her to become a loner. She now fights against people who harm the innocent. Her special powers and abilities? Well, On her right thigh, she keeps a small blade. She specializes in hand-to-hand combat and has superhuman-like abilities, such as her amazing speed and strength. Weaknesses? Well, she has a fear of fire and cannot stand others getting hurt because of her. She tends to work alone because of this, putting her in dangerous situations.
Welcome, Glacia and Hybrid. Here's your mission. As if we didn't have enough problems to deal with, here comes another. At this very moment, making steady progress towards Millennium City, is a supervillain named Jason Matthew, alias Radium. Years ago, he and several other privates in the military were caught in a freak accident involving the testing of a new type of nuclear weapon, dubbed Project Sunburst. Instead of killing the soldiers, it somehow transformed their bodies into living nuclear reactors. They can now project radioactive energy blasts in different ways from their bodies. For a while, the military and Stronghold officials kept them in stasis to prevent them from getting out and causing a radioactive disaster wherever they went. Now it looks like someone has broken them out of their stasis and set them loose upon the world. We're not sure who is behind their early parole, but we do have one possible clue. During an earlier confrontation with Radium, several soldiers and government agents overheard him yelling, "Kill Stone," over and over. Despite the number of other theories our superiors are coming up with, this has all the earmarkings of a caper pulled by industrialist Franklin Stone, one of the richest men in the world just under James Harmon and the late Carl Chesterton. He owns and runs Advanced Concepts Industries, or ACI as it's abbreviated, which creates and manufactures everything from computers to weapons for military contracts. For years now, Stone has come under suspicion a number of times during investigations where some of his weapons coincidentally found their way into the hands of known and at-large terrorist groups. While no one has ever gotten concrete evidence against him, most are wise not to. Every time someone tries to go up against him, sooner or later that person backs down for one reason or another. If Stone is somehow responsible for setting Radium loose and getting him mad enough to want to start a cross-country dash towards the city, then this might be our chance to nail him. I want you two to get Radium before he reaches the city limits and stop him. Bring him back to headquarters, but do not let anyone except Captain McCain's aid you in the transporting. As I said, Stone is well connected, and he may have people ready to grab Radium the minute you take him down. Once you bring him back here, we'll hopefully find out if Stone is behind this and what his plans are. So good luck, and be extremely careful. Alright, you guys got that?
Yep.
Yep.
So, you both quickly head to the edge of town, where, after a few moments of waiting, you spot the supervillain Radium coming over the hills and heading towards the city. And yes, he's burning up the ground as he walks over it.
Something's burning.
Yeah, it smells a bit weird.
I think that's our target over there.
Is that him?
Well, I don't know. Is there anybody else who's burning everything up while he just steps on the ground?
Okay, so, you've got to stop him before he gets to the city, because if he gets to the city, we're going to have basically a radioactive outbreak. What are you guys going to do?
I'm gonna let it happen. I mean, radioactivity is good for the soul, isn't it?
You got problems.
I know.
I've been trying to figure that out for a while. Seriously, though, Hybrid, what are you going to do?
I think we should split up.
I think so too. Question, did you give us any kind of, radiation containment units or anything, or are we just using our bare hands here?
We have ways of cleaning off the radiation from you. It's just that it's not a permanent cure or anything. It's just if we get you back to the decontamination unit fast enough, we can take care of it and you won't have to worry. But you only have a certain amount of time to take care of that. In terms of radiation suits, nothing very flexible enough to work with your maneuvers and whatnot. So yes, you're going in, fighting him just as you are, but I will let you know when you have to run back for decontamination.
And what if we're too late?
Then you start losing life.
Okay, well,
Quick, I'll take the left. You can take the right.
try and figure out a way to incapacitate him without actually getting up close to him.
There is a way to stop Radium. Basically, you just have to wear him out.
And how can we do that without touching him?
Okay, well, Usually when this kind of thing happens, I've noticed that the heroes tend to try to overtax these people and their powers. Generally, they can't keep it up for very long.
How can we manage that?
Get them angry at you and use your athleticism to jump around.
Sounds like a plan.
Okay, so you're going to try and make him angry and get him to attack you. Is that it?
Yep, distract him to get away from the city while we're simultaneously getting him to drain his powers.
Okay, so I will roll for Glacia first. It's a 2! You are successful in getting his attention, and he starts firing at you. Luckily, your athleticism is able to stay one step ahead of Radium's attacks. Alright, now rolling for Hybrid, because now you're going to get his attention.
Hey, hothead!
It's a 6!
Woo!
You too are successful at dodging his attacks.
No hot foot, no hot foot.
Now you're both kind of circling him. He's getting extremely angry, yelling that you need to get out of his way because he needs to reach Stone. He seems to not be tiring so much. It's gonna take a while for him to run out of energy, so you might want to think of a different plan.
We should throw things at him. Maybe that will get his attention.
We already have his attention. We need to think of some way to cool him off. Any bodies of water near the area? Lake, river, pond, aquarium?
I don't need to roll for this. There is actually a river.
I'm going to try and get him to follow me at least closer to the water.
Okay, rolling for that. It's a 15. Sorry, he's a little smarter than that. He sees where you're trying to lead him, so he's going to stay behind.
Oh, nuts. Okay, we're going to have to try and force him there.
We could build a barricade.
Yes, I'll get the construction company right on that. No, we need something right now that's going to get him there. Oh, I have an idea. Do me a favor, lead him around a little bit more, please. I'll be right back.
Sure.
Okay, so rolling for Glacia here. See if she can keep up the distraction long enough. It's a 12. You are successful in continuing to dodge his attacks and not get hit. Alright. Hybrid, are you on your way back yet?
Yes, I am. With a very large baseball bat. In other words, I just ripped a tree out of its roots.
Whoa, that's quite impressive.
I can lift about 20 tons, so while it's heavy, it's feasible for me. It's not like it's a redwood anyway.
Giant baseball bat. Captain Frankman, be jealous. Okay, so I'm guessing you're gonna hit him into the river.
Let's hope for a home run.
Rolling. 10! Home run!
Woo! Grand slam!
Great hit.
Radium goes flying into the air and lands in the Detroit River.
Have you ever thought about taking this professionally? I mean, that was a pretty good score.
They don't allow metahumans in the, major leagues.
Alright, so, with Radium trying to stay afloat, we have Captain McCain's of the police department and a few other military officials arrive on the scene to get him out, make sure he's sedated, and get him into a containment unit. Also got you guys back to the decontamination station so that you can get all the radiation off, which I won't roll for that. You're good. And with that, mission accomplished. Now, once we get Radium totally confined and secured, we'll see if we can get some straight answers out of him concerning his connection to Stone and what his plans were. As we do that, however, a helicopter suddenly lands nearby where you guys are. You see the logo ACI on the side of it, and out from the helicopter steps Franklin Stone and his secretary, Miss Roxanne Eckhart. Stone walks over to you and wants to know which of you was the one who hit Radium into the river.
It was me.
It was you! How impressive! Okay, well, he's actually got a deal for you. For the longest time, ACI has been under a lot of scrutiny, he explains. People have believed he's been in cahoots with certain individuals who aren't exactly good to be with, when of course that is untrue. So he wants ACI to sponsor a superhero.
Wait, what?
And because of you, miss, you are going to be sponsored by ACI. Means you're going to get your own headquarters, you're going to get your own gadgets, basically everything you've ever needed to fight crime with.
Wait a sec. Wait, what?
What do you say, Glacia?
Yeah, Glacia, what do you say?
Something smells a bit off. I'll accept your offer.
All right. I think Hybrid's having a heart attack.
I'm fine.
Okay. So with that, Franklin Stone invites you back to ACI headquarters in Millennium City. And he shows you some, pictures of all the cool stuff that he's going to give you. It's like, here's, what your new headquarters is going to look like. Here's, they're going to give you, like, basically a Glacia mobile or a Glacia, motorcycle and all kinds of stuff stylized after your look and just the way you operate. It all looks pretty cool.
And where am I, perchance?
You are at Raymond Miller's House of Waffles.
I'm drowning my sorrows in syrup. No, I don't need any French toast, no bacon, no pancakes, no waffles. Just give me the syrup.
Alright, so, Glacia, while you're there with Mr. Stone, would you like to talk to him, or would you just like to retire to your new quarters?
If I talk to him, maybe I can find some more information.
Okay, what would you like to ask him?
If those rumors are true.
Oh, really? Okay, gonna be daring. Alright. It's a 17. He says the rumors are, of course, untrue. Why would you even ask that?
Oh, I just had some other superheroes talking about it. Of course, I didn't believe them. But how did their new inventions, so you might say, end up in the terrorists' hands?
I won't even roll for that. Mr. Stone just says that, well, things happen. Corporate espionage, rivals selling his work after they steal it. He's had multiple break-ins. Unfortunately, none he's been able to stop.
All right, then. I'll take all the stuff that he's going to give me.
All right, so you bid him farewell and retire to your new headquarters, which is located just off-site of the ACI building. It's pretty cool. He's set you up with crime computer and all kinds of neat little stuff to use to fight crime. Meanwhile, over at Raymond Miller's House of Waffles...
Yeah, I'll take 2 more number 3s, please.
Just then, I come and sit down with you at the booth.
Oh, hi, Director. Want some syrup? Sorry. It's all gone.
No, but I've got some information for you.
Oh, what?
We just got word from Radium, who woke up momentarily, and we managed to find out that he claims that Stone, or at least somebody who works for Stone, broke him and one other supervillain out of Stronghold. The other supervillain is also nuclear-based, and he's still on the loose.
Oh, great. So that means that we can expect another attempt on Mr. Stone's life?
I don't know if he'll go after Stone, but I know he'll cause lots of trouble. His name is Roy Wilson, a.k.a. Nuke.
Oh, great.
We need to get this to Glacia so that you two can go and find out if he knows anything. Hopefully he'll have more intel for us if we can catch him, and we can nail Stone.
Well, I'll try and get in contact with her, but they gave her a new phone or something, so I don't know the number, and I don't know if their security is gonna let a commoner like me get in there.
Well, we could always try the other approach.
Which is...
They gave her a Glacia signal.
More syrup?
Rolling for more syrup! It's a 10. Oh yes, they brought you lots of syrup.
Thank you.
Alright, so, You go to where the Glacia signal is, you turn it on, and Glacia sees it.
That's a lot of syrup that you've been eating.
I'm not feeling so hot.
Don't worry. In all honesty, you can have all the gadgets.
Thanks. Alright, so... reason why I turned that thing on, there was another guy who has nuclear powers who... Oh, he had the very original name of Nuke, and, can you see if you can ask your new boss anything about this guy? He and, the first one were kind of in cahoots or something, were broken out at the same time. I'm trying to figure out where he might be headed.
Actually, Hybrid, that's not a bad idea. Glacia, you have managed to gain... Seems like you've gained Mr. Stone's trust. Why don't you see about getting into his office after he goes home for the evening?
Sounds like a plan.
Hybrid, you'll be outside the building looking in. If there's any trouble, you make sure you stay in complete communication with her. And
Oh, she even gets her own Glacia walkie-talkies!
And Glacia, you go in and you find out whatever you can that Stone might be hiding.
Right.
Alright, so that night you manage to get to the top floor of Stone's building, and you enter his office. So far so good, managing to stay out of the way of any cameras or whatnot. Hybrid is outside across the way, watching you with binoculars, and you make it to his computer.
I need donuts for this stakeout.
Okay. Let's see what's on here.
Alright, rolling first for the computer. Uh-oh, it's a 9. It's protected by a password.
Great.
Alright, and then just for the sake of it, rolling for Hybrid's donuts. It's a 4. You radio into me for some donuts, and I teleport some to you. Because I'm nice like that.
Thank you, Magic Man.
Alright, Glacia, what would you like to do?
Well, maybe try and guess his password.
Is there any word you'd like to try guessing?
Usually these systems, if you put in the incorrect password, they'll give you a hint or something.
How about... I know this sounds basic, but what about his last name?
Oh, Stone. Okay, well, we'll roll for that. It's a... You're good. It's a 6. It was his last name. Dude's not really worried about security, is he? He's just like, it's me.
Well, it's his computer.
This is about as lame as those villains who think they're so smart that they just put in password as their password. Nobody will ever figure it out. Yes, they will.
Alright, so you get onto his computer, and you begin looking around. You search for hidden files, and let's roll for that. Ooh, it's another 6. You find a hidden file, and sure enough, you find all kinds of little information about radium, nuke, and something called Project Blackout.
How's it going in there, Glacia?
Well, I hit jackpot.
Describe jackpot, please.
He's working on something. I think it's called Project Blackout.
Suddenly, you hear the office door lock jiggling. It sounds like somebody's about to come in. Before you broke into the office and managed to lock it back up, but now somebody's coming in.
Shoot. There's a cupboard.
Alright, hiding in the cupboard. It's an 18. You are successful in getting into the cupboard real fast, just as Roxanne Eckhart enters into the room. You watch from the crack in the cupboard as she goes over to Stone's computer. Apparently, Stone must have forgotten something because she went just to get one thing from the desk. And then, rolling. Oh dear, she's coming towards the cupboard.
I can't hide.
Hybrid, you're watching from out there. Is there anything you want to do to help?
I have no idea what's going on. She hasn't communicated to me what's happened, and so far as I...
Hybrid!
Hello? What?
Roxanne, the secretary. She's coming towards me. I'm hiding in the cupboard. At this rate, she's gonna find me. Help!
Is there anything inside the cupboard that you can get behind? Something large?
I'll roll for that.
Wait.
It's an 8. Yes, there is actually some heavy, like, jackets or whatnot that she can hide behind. So she quickly goes behind those. Roxanne opens the cupboard and retrieves one of Mr. Stone's coats without seeing you. She closes the door and walks back out of the office.
That was way too close.
You hid in the cupboard?
What else can I do?
I don't know, you have super athleticism, don't you? Why didn't you go to the ceiling?
The ceiling! The ceiling!
Jump up, take off one of the roof tiles, and go up there. I don't know. Something less obvious.
Hybrid,
Ah.
we got a situation. Nuke's headed for Millennium City.
Of course. Which direction?
He's coming in from the south.
Oh, Glacia, guess what?
What?
We have a nuclear strike coming towards us.
Give me a break.
All right. First of all, Glacia, you managed to get out of the building the same way you got in. You get out without being detected. And then you both meet up on the outskirts of town where Nuke is approaching, and you wait for Nuke to arrive.
Did you have to use the Glacia mobile just to rub it in?
It seems really comfortable, okay?
All right. Just then, you see him, Nuke. He's a big, muscly dude coming over the hillside. Unlike Radium, who was burning everything up, Nuke just looks like he's made of bricks, practically. He's just walking, and it doesn't look like anything can stop him.
You know, looking at him, I don't think that I can baseball him into the river.
Yeah, I think that plan's out of the box.
Unlike Radium, you can just take on Nuke. You just have to find a way to knock him out.
How strong is he?
Here's a picture. This is a picture taken from the first time he appeared on the scene.
Yeah.
That was a city block in Chicago.
Okay then.
Well, you have your super strength.
I've never knocked down an entire city block.
Have you ever tried to knock down a city block?
No, but I don't know that I could anyway. Knocking down a tree is one thing.
Okay, Nuke is approaching. What are you gonna do?
I'll distract him. You try to figure out a way of taking him out.
Well, that's a great plan.
Before he reaches the city.
All right, rolling for Glacia first. Oh, good luck tonight so far. You got a 2. All right, so you're able to get Nuke's attention, and at first he's just like, get out of my way. But you start messing with him, and he is getting angry. He is now determined to squash you first before going to the city.
Well, a bulky guy like that can't move that fast.
Okay, Hybrid.
Thinking. Oh, wait a minute. Glacia has some nifty little devices from ACI. Let's pop the hood of her trunk to see what she's got.
Okay, I will roll for what's inside. Hybrid,
What?
I've got some bad news for you.
She's not packing any heat, is she?
There's nothing in the truck. She left all the gadgets behind to race out here to meet you.
Glacia!
Hey, you rushed me.
You had time to change.
I thought that they were already in there.
Alright, rolling for Glacia once again to see if she can keep up the distraction. Uh-oh, 11. Nuke got a hit out of you. That's minus 25 for Glacia.
Ooh, you alright?
Bit of a headache.
Okay, well, you've got 2 options here. You could go and just try to take him on, or, that car looks like it could do some damage.
Yeah, I was thinking that already. Sorry, Glacia.
What are you gonna do, Hybrid?
First thought, try to use the car as a sledgehammer.
Okay, doing that. 17. You were successful at throwing it at him, but he's pretty much unfazed.
You know, if you're going to destroy my sweet ride, as long as it did something, maybe I would be happy. But you know what? It did nothing!
Well, are you doing anything to help the situation?
At least I bought us some time.
Yeah, time for me to make a sandwich out of him.
Alright, so, now what are you gonna do?
Jump over him, try to tie him up in the remains of the car.
Oh, okay, here we go, rolling for that.
That's not a bad plan.
It's a 4. You're able to restrain him.
Yes!
But that's not gonna hold him for long. You need to find a way to incapacitate him completely.
Okay, Glacia, do you have a utility belt or something on you? Can we roll for that?
Can we roll for... Okay, rolling for a utility belt. Come on, Batman. It's a 13. She doesn't have it.
Glacia!
What?
They gave you all these fancy gadgets and you don't have a utility belt? What kind of a superhero are you?
Well, arguing isn't going to fix the situation. I have an idea. There's a building right next to him. We can topple it over him.
We're not near any buildings.
But...
We are on the outskirts. It's outside city limits.
I've got nothing here.
Alright, so... What would you like to do?
I'm gonna try and strangle him. Not obviously to kill him, but enough to knock him out. You know, a Walker Texas Ranger kind of thing.
This should be interesting rolling for that. You're good. You got a 16. You managed to squeeze just hard enough to cut off the airflow. And he faints.
Director Fox?
Yeah?
We have a pickup for you. Please come quickly and bring tranquilizers.
really, really quickly.
Okay, I'll be there as soon as I can. As soon as I hang up, however, suddenly, a number of armed guards come out of nowhere, and an ACI helicopter lands near you.
Friends of yours?
Out of the helicopter comes, surprise, surprise, Franklin Stone. He goes over to Glacia and tells her, job well done capturing Nuke.
Well, Hybrid did all of it. I have a feeling that he should be sponsored.
Stone looks at Hybrid and says, well, the next time we open up our sponsorship program, there will be a spot for him. For now, though, Stone is more interested in taking Nuke to a private containment unit.
Whoa, hold it. I took this guy down, not Glacia. He is subject to Director Fox's authority, not yours.
Franklin Stone is definitely not very happy to hear that.
Hey, sorry, if you wanted it to be that way, you should have sponsored me.
Franklin Stone is definitely not happy about that. However, he'll go. For now. So he calls off his men and flies away in his helicopter. And then I arrive with Captain McCain's and a few military officials to capture Nuke. We put him in a containment unit, and we take him back to where we've got radium stored until they can be taken back to Stronghold. Just then, Glacia gets a message on her personal communication device from Stone. He wants to meet with her immediately.
I'll be on my way.
Okay, so you arrive alone back to ACI, and Stone asks you what you were doing on his computer.
What do you mean?
He turns the computer monitor around and shows you a small hidden camera attached to it. He says that he's been meaning to catch the person who's been stealing his inventions and military weapons and selling it to the wrong people. For the longest time, he wasn't sure who that was, and now it looks like he's found the culprit. Somebody who was an assassin at one point. In fact, he brings out a whole file on you and says that you're the perfect candidate for taking the fall. Think about the disgrace Director Fox will have to go through when they find out that you allowed this person in your ranks? Sheesh, what about the other so-called heroes on your team?
Nobody else can take the blame for this. It's all me.
doesn't matter. Actually, he will make one deal with you if you're willing to listen.
Go on.
He will eliminate all of this, burn the files, delete them, whatever, if you do one simple job.
And what is that?
You have to retrieve both the nuke and radium from PAC headquarters.
I'll take the offer.
Okay, so with that, Glacia, you head to PAC headquarters, you get in with your key card and all that, and now what would you like to do?
Call Hybrid. Tell him what's going on.
Okay, calling Hybrid. Won't roll for that. Hybrid, you come out of the break room, once again holding some syrup, and what would you like to say to him?
I'm stuck in the mud. I need help.
With what?
He found out.
Uh-oh.
His computer took a video of me, and he's using this to blackmail me. And release radium. Well, every nuclear, biological ones that we have. He wants us to hand them over to him.
So radium and nuke?
Yeah.
Alright, so what would you like to do?
Okay. You go talk to Mr. Director. I'm going to go see our 2 nuclear buddies. I'll be right back.
So Glacia comes up to my office and explains the situation. To be careful in case somebody may be shadowing her, I cast a spell that makes it look like I'm the only one in the room and keep my motions to a minimum. As she finishes explaining, I think for a moment, and then formulate a plan. Give them to him.
Have you lost your mind?
Of course not. If we want Stone to incriminate himself, we gotta catch him with the goods. So give him the nuclear-powered supervillains. Make sure he destroys the evidence as promised in the deal. And then swing in and take him out. Okay, so I go ahead and make sure that you've got the proper equipment to deliver nuke and radium, still sedated. And you arrive at the meeting spot, which is the West Side Millennium Docks, where Stone has set up the meeting place, and he's going to transport the 2 villains to a ship that, from what you can tell, is bound for Africa.
I'm going to do a sniff and hearing check to see how many people he has with him.
Okay, rolling. 20.
Let me guess, they're all nicely armed.
Oh yeah! Glacia drives the truck carrying the 2 villains to the port, where Franklin Stone and his men are waiting. Hybrid follows carefully behind and takes a hidden position on the dock. Upon parking, Glacia gets out, shows the 2 villains in the back of the truck, and Stone sends his men in to check the containers to make sure they're secure, and just to make sure there's no double cross. After the men give him the okay, Stone turns to Glacia and says, "A deal's a deal." With that, he shows you the hard copy of the file, and then sets it ablaze with his pocket lighter. Next to him, his secretary, Miss Eckhart, presses a button on the touchscreen pad she has, and shows you all of the stored copies of the file being deleted from the ACI servers.
Are you sure that that's all the files?
If there's one thing about Franklin Stone that you can trust, is that he is a man of his word.
Okay.
Alright, so they're headed on board. I'm not going to roll for any of that. They're being wheeled up to the ship now. And then, from the top of the ship, from on the deck, you see who he's doing business with. Colonel Benjamin Ibori. Alright, so, you know who's involved. The villains can't reach that ship and take off, so what are you guys gonna do?
Let's see here. What do we have on the dock that I can throw and take out that gangplank?
There's a forklift.
I break off the forklift part of the forklift and toss it at the gangplank.
Rolling. Congratulations, it's a 10. You break the gangplank.
Splashdown!
Unfortunately, you have now alerted all 20 guards.
Yep, that was it to be expected. grab a rope and lasso Glacia, get her behind some cover.
Okay, rolling for that. You missed. Minus 25 for you both.
Shoot! Okay, Glacia, you want to make a move?
What should I do?
Well, you're the one who's closest to Mr. Stone.
Well, there's some rope over here. Maybe I can tie him up.
You're going to tie up Franklin Stone and use him basically to call off his men. Okay, rolling for that. Uh-oh, 19. First of all, he moves out of the way, and then Colonel Libori attacks you. You haven't lost any life yet, he's just trying to go at you.
Maybe I can ask for Hybrid's help?
You could, but he's got 20 guards on his back.
Well, I should retreat for a second.
So you're going to try and break his grip. Okay, here we go. It's a 2. You break his grip without losing any life, and you retreat. Where are you retreating to, by the way?
Isn't there a warehouse around here?
You could, you could go there.
Yeah.
Okay, so you go into the warehouse. Okay, Hybrid, you've still got the 20 guards to deal with.
Okay, first of all, I'm going to try and use the rest of that forklift that I was at before. I kick it towards the largest group of guards that are trying to fire at me.
Kick a forklift, okay.
Well, the idea here is that it's not going to go flying into the air, more like go skidding across the dock into them.
Okay, let's see how that works. It's a 16! You take them all out. Alright, so you've taken them out. Now, what are you going to do? You've still got Stone and Colonel Libori up there, so...
First, gonna go after Stone here.
Before you can race after Stone, however, you see Colonel Libori preparing to release radium. Apparently he's hoping radium will act as a diversion, allowing him to get away.
What are those things called? Those storage containers they put on ships.
Yeah, storage containers, like cargo containers.
Hey, Hybrid, do you think you can help me throw one of these?
That thing will not hold radium. He'll melt right through it.
Radium isn't released yet. He's just preparing to release him. He's like putting in codes and whatnot to unlock it.
I'll go get him. You get Mr. Stone here. Stop hiding.
Okay, so Hybrid, we're rolling for you first. It's a 19. It didn't quite make it.
Oh, shoot.
I'll give you one more chance to throw another cargo container. Dang it, it's a 1. Alright, well, I got some bad news for you. That means radium is released. However, good news is he's still a little sedated still, so he's still trying to regain his composure. So, what are you going to do now?
Well, I'll need to black out Mr. Stone first.
Okay, so I'll roll for you, Glacia, while Hybrid tries to think of something. Rolling. It's a 16. You catch Stone and knock him out. Okay, Hybrid, I'm going to give you one last chance here. Miss this time, and Radium will be at full consciousness, and we'll give him a chance to do some damage. Okay? Rolling. It's a 12! Thank God! You throw the cargo container and knock Radium into the river once again.
This is the second time. I'm pretty sure he has a fear of the river now.
Unfortunately, Colonel Libori is quick to make a hasty retreat. There is a helicopter on the ship. He takes off quickly, and he is out of there.
At least we have Stone.
So, you call me. I've been doing some research into Project Blackout as this was happening. We get Stone. He promises that he'll be out before the morning because his lawyers will go at it immediately. Although, as of right now, we're just kind of happy to have him in custody. As for Project Blackout, the only thing I was able to dig up on it was that it had to do with some experiments involving some kind of antimatter equation. I wasn't able to find out anything more. Most of the intel on it is thoroughly locked up, who knows where, or just gone. So it looks like we're going to have to look into the Lugendu situation. For now, we've got Stone. We'll see if we can't get any more information from him. But for now, game set. And with that, let's take a look at the points. Hybrid, you win this time.
Yay! I'm feeling that syrup.
And with that, we close the doors on this adventure. Next time, a new adventure as we begin the countdown to the season finale in episode 13. Until then, bye!
Bye!
So long.
Thank you for watching Tale in the Air. The characters and world of the Champions RPG are owned by their respective owners. The characters created by our contestants are owned solely by the contestants. The Fox and the Fedora, Tale in the Air, and Director Fox are all owned by Sean Basinger, No Sense Entertainment, and Z Media Productions. All rights reserved. Also on a special note, and just to let you guys know, I'm going to be co-producing a documentary for a film festival coming up in May of 2016. Unlike my previous projects here on YouTube, however, this project is going to require some funding in order to make it look the best it can. So, my partner and I have started a GoFundMe. If you can, please help us out by donating any amount. It will be greatly appreciated, and all those who donate will receive a credit in the end credits. Just let us know how you want to be credited by leaving us a message here on this video, the next video, or however you'd like. Thank you, and I'll see you next time.